Welcome, everybody, to the fifth and final lesson from Pace AI's foundational AI course for educators. My name is Joe Marquez, and I am proud to be a part of your AI journey today. Today, we're looking at lesson 5. How can you be a change maker and use AI for good in ESL education? Now, listen, there is so much good that AI can do. And through lesson 1, we learned what AI was, and we learned that it's okay to have that fear. But hopefully now that you understand what machine learning is, you understand what a large language model is, and you understand how to mitigate and remove bias from these tools, hopefully now you have this drive to be that change maker and use AI for good in ESL education. Now, we need to know a few things about when we are using AI for ourselves and also with our students. We need to remind ourselves, listen, even though AI is powerful, even though AI is going to continue to become more powerful, we should always insist with ourselves and our students that AI should not be doing all the work for us, right? We need to have an integral part in the creative process. We need to make sure that humans are always there at the beginning and the middle and the end of any AI use. And how do we help students understand this? Well, I always love to give students the analogy of utilizing an electric bike. Now, an electric bike can be pedaled with your power, or an electric bike can be utilizing the battery and the motor to move them forward as well. But we need our students to understand it is best if they are pedaling as much as possible and only use the motor, only use the battery when it is too tough for them to get over the hump. Now, a little struggle is good, but we don't want them to struggle to the point of giving up. And that is what that little accelerator on the e-bike should be doing. Rev it just enough to get over the hump, using just enough power of the bike to get over the hump, just like using just enough AI to get them through the learning process. And we need to acknowledge that as well as educators, because there's so many tools out there that promise to do all the work for you with very little effort on your part. We need to be careful not to fall in the trap of utilizing those tools because we wouldn't want our students to use tools that do all the work for them either. Now, we also need to understand that AI is there to help us. AI should be thought of as our collaborator, right? We must understand that to truly use AI effectively and ethically, we need to think of it as our companion in the creative process. And when using AI, we need to think of the AI cubed model again, right? Using AI in intentionally and inclusive ways. We need to be intentional while we are including AI in our creative process, right? There needs to be a purpose in that process. And again, and I know I've said it multiple times, but it's so important to me that humans should always be included in the beginning, the middle, and the end of the AI process. AI should be there to give you nudges, ideas, and figure out helpful ways for you to get over or to move past any creative block that you have. We also have to acknowledge that there are so many different educators and so many different institutions that your institution may have so many innovative educators that you can rely on. But there are others who are departments of one, and they need that extra help. They need that collaborator, and AI can be that collaborator. We may have students who have parents at home, who have others at home, who can help them understand material. But also we have students and learners who don't have anybody at home to help them. AI can be that help at home. AI should be your collaborator, but it should not be the sole creator of your content. And the great thing about this, everybody, is that we get to decide. We get to decide how much or how little AI should be involved in this process. For example, if you love crafting lessons, if you love lesson design, then just use AI a little bit to get you over those creative blocks, or maybe to run through your lesson design and ask it, hey, what else can I do here? Right? But what if something like feedback, right? Feedback, I know you as an educator love giving that personal feedback. But a drawback to that is if you have 200 students you have to leave feedback on papers for, that's going to take time to give back that feedback for the students to then begin working on that feedback. Imagine if you had AI that can create that feedback in seconds, and students can then use that feedback to then craft their second or third draft, right? These are things we have to think about. How can AI help amplify the educational experience for students while still allowing educators to craft amazing lessons and do the things they still love? It all comes back to you. You get to decide how much or how little AI will have a place in your educational profession and your students' use in your classroom or in your institution. So here are some things that you need to keep in mind when using generative AI, right? Generative AI outputs, they tend to be wrong, right? They tend to hallucinate, give wrong answers, give wrong conclusions. So never use an output without investigating its claims, right? Remember what we talked about in lesson 4. Clarify, giving a great prompt, then verify, right? Verify its claims before you take them at face value. And speaking of which, we talked about this as well, that outputs can be biased. So we need to critique what is being outputted, being displayed, before we use it with our students. And we need to ensure our students are doing the same thing. When using these tools, and this is for both you and your students, never put any personal, student, or financial information into them. We don't know what these companies are using these prompts for. They may be using prompts to then further the learning of these tools. So don't take the risk. Don't put any identifiable student information, personal information, or financial information into them. Never let these tools do all the work for you. They should be used as a collaborator, not a crutch. Always use follow-up prompts to hone in on a more accurate response. Never take a first output. Always push your collaborator. Always push your AI tool to do more. And then always think of AI cubed. Always have an intended reason to include these tools before you use them. And no matter how good these tools become, no matter how great they sound, these tools are not sentient. They are not alive. And no, it's not magic. It's computer science. And always say please, not only because it's the nice thing to do, but we never know how powerful these machines are going to be. And at least we can always point back to say, hey, we were always nice. Always say please. We are so excited that we were able to be a part of your journey here with AI. And through lesson 1, 2, 3, 4, and this one, lesson 5, we hope that you now have a great idea of what generative AI is, what machine learning is, what large language models are and what they do. And we hope if you started this course with us, if you started with fear, we hope that fear has melted away into a pool of possibilities. And we hope you keep moving forward. And I know the amazing engineers at Pace AI have you and your students in mind while they are crafting amazing, amazing tools for your students. And never hesitate to reach out to myself as well, because I'm in it just as much as you are. Thanks for joining us on Pace AI's AI Lessons. We hope to see you in person someday soon. Have yourselves a wonderful, wonderful day.